Not one person on this planet is completely and utterly happy with themselves.
Personal development has boomed in recent years and become a large social debate. According to market research, the self-help industry is estimated to grow to $13.2 billion by 2022. This growth is largely driven forward by millennials, those between the ages of 18 to 38. Figures show that 94% of them reported making personal improvement commitments and are willing to pay more than £200 a month on these. Now, is this generation approaching self-help the right way? Today, I'm diving deeper into this debate, exploring the thoughts and experiences of millennials, as well as the impact self-help is having in 2020. Jules Schroeder is a millennial expert, songwriter, and founder of Unconventional Life, on a mission to help people redefine success. Lucy Barry, a 25-year-old body and soul confidence coach, teaches others how to be content with themselves and realize their full potential. Lastly, I spoke to YouTuber James Janney, with more than 500,000 subscribers to his name. His passion is creating thought-provoking documentary-style videos on business and life based on his experiences and discoveries.
More than ever, we're looking at the holistic perspective of success. It's not just, can we make money and have a career, and success is measured by the money in our bank account. It's also like, do we feel good about ourselves? Do we feel good in our body? Are we eating right? Are we getting to travel? Are we doing our self-care practices? And I do think the holistic perspective of success is how you satiate that feeling of fulfillment. And that's one thing I love about this generation, about millennials specifically, is that we're looking at the total picture. And that's, I think, really where long-term sustainable change happens rather than these quick fixes.
Living in a hypermediated age, the self-help market has seen a surge in the use of online mediums. Accessing personal development resources is now largely dominated by social media, apps, and online courses. All these information inundating digital platforms are right at our fingertips every minute of every day. But is this a good thing?
There's really positive, healthy aspects to it. And then I think there are quite all-consuming, addictive parts of it. And I think more so now it's very confusing because there's loads of people out there who are claiming that they're therapists or like a CBT therapist or a coach who don't do legitimate qualifications. Everybody has an Instagram page these days where they're talking about their journey, and then they buy a course on Groupon and they're like, yeah, I'm a CBT practitioner. So it can be, I think it's just really got a little bit out of hand, maybe.
One of the ways in which you see a lot of these gurus or courses and books and whatever being advertised is through social media. YouTube ads are a big one. You run this funnel of start off with a YouTube ad, hook someone into clicking the YouTube ad. Through the YouTube ad, you're led onto a sales page, which then leads you on to a webinar, which will go on for like 2 to 3 hours potentially, where there's this hook, which is, here's this trick that has helped me become confident, or here's this trick that has helped me unlock a new side of myself through meditation. There's some level of hook, something that gets you to watch. The webinar never really answers that question. It really exists to get you to ask even more questions.
We are in the midst of mental health crisis. Stress and anxiety is recognized as the epidemic of the 21st century. The results from the Mental Health Foundation's 2018 study show that some of the biggest stresses for 18 to 24-year-olds in the UK are comparison and the pressure to succeed. Is self-help then actually solving this problem? Is it really the cure as most portray it to be?
Quite commonly, the main thing that they come to me is about confidence and anxiety.
In my opinion, I don't know how you couldn't not have anxiety in the world we're in right now.
Everywhere you look on social media, everyone is giving off this image of perfection using these editing tools, these filters, these different lightings, taking a picture of a beach and making it sound like you're in this beautiful, insanely perfect place, but it gives off the wrong perception and the wrong goals to everyday people.
There's this almost like glorification or assumption that something's wrong if you're not being positive, if you haven't found the lesson or the silver lining or the gold in something.
Hustle culture and working hard almost becomes a way in which you can get brownie points from social media in some cases, where it's like you're posting about how much you're working. You get the people on Instagram with the Lambo in the background, or they're just talking about how much they're hustling and working hard, and you realize that they're not really doing anything. Like nothing's really happening. It's much more of a facade.
I wonder, is there a right way to approach self-help?
This is a tough one. Even I asked myself this, because in many ways, like, I was helped by going through it, but in many ways the things you have to avoid. First, being aware of these little things of, taking a step back and starting to think how much of your time is spent just consuming this stuff and how much of your time is spent actually applying it in your day-to-day.
I think more than ever, we must be discerning about the source of our self-help and where we get that, because today anyone can be an expert, qualified or not. And not that opinion isn't valuable. You just have to ask, is that opinion valuable for me? And do they embody what it is that I'm after?
True self-development is not necessarily development, but just getting comfortable with who you are, accepting who you are, learning to enjoy yourself as you are today. And then everything else changes. Because I think if you're constantly looking to change yourself, you're never sitting with who you are. And I think that's true happiness, when you're just completely complete.
Whether millennials are approaching self-help the right way is an individual answer. But one thing to remember is that self-help should make us more happier and fulfilled, not anxious or frustrated. The key to exploring your self-development journey is coming back to one simple question. What is my intention for pursuing this?